Last year I made a list of my top 10 favorite Pokemon, so you guys are probably wondering why I'm doing it again. Well, one of the most important things about life is opinions change, so naturally, one of those opinions are what Pokemon I like the most. If y'all have seen the first video I made on the topic, you may or may not be surprised on some of the placements on this one. And quite honestly, I am too. Without further delay, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to like. If you didn't, then, well, don't, I guess? Anyway, let's get started off the list with... Number 10, Blaziken. Ah yes, the first Pokemon on this list that wasn't here last year. Well, why did he make it this year? To be honest, I have no idea. I would say that I like him about just as much as I did before, so I'm not sure. Whether it was that I like Blaziken more, or like the other Pokemon that almost made this list less, I'm not quite sure. But it should be pretty easy to see why I like Blaziken. Not only is it my favorite fire starter Pokemon, but it also has a really sick design. I might trigger a couple of people by saying this, but he definitely at least is the best firefighting starter. Those other two, yeah, you know who I'm talking about, are phonies. I don't dislike Infernape or Emboar, but Blaziken is definitely the best of the three. Not to mention its insanely strong Mega Form and its admittedly somewhat broken hidden ability Speed Boost. All around, a great Pokemon and definitely good enough to get him a spot on this list. Number 9, Serena. I've always liked Serena, so I'm not sure why she didn't make it last year. I haven't really used one since then, so it's not like I've grown more attached to it. I used one on my original Sun and Moon team and have liked it ever since. It has a great design, in fact one of my favorites of all time, and it's also really fun to use. There isn't anything specific about Serena that particularly stands out to me, it's just a very well-rounded Pokemon in general. There's always going to be those Pokemon to people that they just seem to like for no apparent reason. And Serena is definitely that Pokemon for me, making it to the number 9 spot on this list. Number 8, Zekrom. This is the first Pokemon from last year to stay on this list, albeit knocked down a couple spots. I always have and always will love Zekrom, but there aren't many things that I can say about him that I love that hasn't already been mentioned in my last video. I would definitely say that I like him as much, if not more than I did before, but there are just a few other Pokemon that I seem to like more than I did before. I'm ultimately though not surprised that he stayed, because he's always been one of my favorite legendaries. Although he isn't as high as he used to be, he still and always will hold a special place in my heart, leaving him at number 8. Number 7, Espeon. I honestly can't believe how much lower Espeon was than last year. They were originally my 3rd favorite Pokemon, but they've been pushed back to 7th. That doesn't mean to say I like it any less, because it's definitely not the case. Sometimes that's just the way it is. Espeon still is and always will probably forever be my favorite evolution, but as you probably can tell, there are a few more Pokemon I just happen to like more now. I still always love using Espeon though, paired with his great moveset and near flawless stats, making it by far my favorite one to use. Although Espeon isn't as high as they were last year, I'm still glad this Pokemon exists and that it can at least stick around at number 7 on this list. Number 6, Dunsparce. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Dunsparce has always been one of the weirdest Pokemon. In my previous list, I told you guys I wasn't really sure why Dunsparce was not only on the list, but was so high up on it, and to be honest, I still don't know. But gosh darn it, I'm glad he is and I love him. He probably got pushed down a couple spots because of his ever disappointing evolution in Scarlet and Violet. I mean, I honestly have no idea what they were thinking not giving him the Dragon Evo we deserve, but oh well. I can always cover Dunsparce in another video, but I will say that this is most likely the reason he isn't as high as he was, to no fault of his own. I still love this little snake Pokemon and always enjoy using him when I get the chance, having him at number 6 on my list. Number 5, Tadbulb. The first Pokemon on this list to actually move up from his previous spot. I am still yet to use him, but oh man, there's no doubt in my mind that this is the cutest Pokemon to ever exist. I don't know what it is, but his face just fills me with pure joy. As you might have noticed, he overtook Zapdos' place in this list, and I regret to inform you guys that, and I'm surprised to say this, he didn't even make the cut to this list. I can't believe it either, but I don't know what to tell you guys. I guess I just don't like him as much as I used to, which is a first for any Pokemon on the old list. That being said, I guess Zekrom is now officially my favorite legendary, which is pretty cool, I guess. Anyway, this is where the list starts to get interesting, so let's move on to number 4, Meowscarda. Officially taking over Dunsparce's old spot is Meowscarda. Between now and the last video, I've really grown to appreciate this Pokemon. In my opinion, this was the most shocking listing out of all of them, but what can I say? I pretty much like Meowscarada for all the same reasons I love Serena, but to an even higher degree. As a cooler type, it's more fun to use, and I'd say I like his design about as much as Serena. The only reason Meowscarada is higher is because Serena was mainly only ranked off of design. While what I said about Serena earlier is still true, I feel that Meowscarada just pulls it off better. Not to mention, it was the starter I picked in Scarlet and Violet, so of course I'm going to be attached to it, at least somewhat. I am really shocked though on how high I ranked it because I honestly didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, but here we are leaving it at number 4 on this list. Number 3, Kabutops. Whoa, 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 I know what you guys are thinking, but you said Kabutops was your favorite Pokemon. I know, he was. I'm not sure if I like him a little less now, or if I just like the Pokemon in the top 2 position, or what. I still think that he is one of the coolest Pokemon to ever exist, but it's hard to face the truth, which is he just does not have the best typing. After playing Kaizo Ironmon for so long, it pains me every time I see Kabutops, because I know with his type, it's just too bad to use. His quad weakness to grass just really brings his competitive prowess down. If I got to use him more, I feel like he would still be my favorite Pokemon, but I just never get to. It's honestly really quite sad, because I love him to death, but I guess that's just the way it is. If you guys have never used a Kabutops in a playthrough before, I highly recommend it, because as I said in my last video, he is ridiculously fun to use. Although he isn't my number 1, he will always be one of the best Pokemon out there to me. Number 2, Primarina. Out of all the spots on this list, this is probably the craziest one. It jumped all the way from 9th last year to 2nd. Primarina, you definitely get the most improved award. Like some previous spots on this list that I've mentioned, there really isn't much I could tell you that I like about Primarina now that I didn't already mention in my last video. All I can really say is that all the feelings I had for Primarina before are now amplified even greater. Its design is just near flawless to me. It has an insanely cool type, being the first and only fairy type starter. It's really fun to use, and so on. Every good thing I might have said about previous entries on this list, I feel are true for everything about Primarina. Who knows, maybe next year Primarina will be my favorite Pokemon. Number 1. Do I honestly even have to tell you guys what Pokemon is in this spot? You know what? Let's play a little game. Look under the title of this video. What Pokemon is my profile picture? Go to my channel. What Pokemon is on the banner? Literally look at the bottom left of the freaking screen. Which Pokemon do you guys find me talking about more than any Pokemon? I'm not talking about Typhlosion, guys, come on, it's Ampharos. This thing is pure perfection, and I don't care what anybody says. There's literally not a single thing that anybody could say, myself included, that could make me dislike Ampharos in any way, shape, or form. Like I mentioned in the previous list, it is the perfect example of a Pokemon that can be both cute and cool at the same time. Its typing is the best in the whole game, its concept is simple yet awesome, and executed very well. This thing buries all other Pokemon easily. I know a year ago I said the same thing about Kabutops, but if you find yourself wondering that, clearly you didn't watch the video. I said that although I find myself liking Kabutops more, Ampharos is, in my opinion, the most perfect Pokemon to ever be created. Design-wise mainly, but also in personality. Ampharos is really loving and cute normally, but when he has to, he will be the most epic thing you've ever seen on the battlefield. There's just so much character and personality for this Pokemon that makes me love him as much as I do. Hope you guys enjoyed the list. Let me know what you guys think, and feel free to tell me your favorite Pokemon in the comments. I hope all of you have a great day, and as always, I will see y'all in the next video.